Now, the performing arts industry has clearly been hit hard by the pandemic. Live shows have been cancelled and many professionals in the industry left without any work. My next guest is an artist who found himself with a huge hole in his diary due to COVID-19. Now he's turned his talent to get musicians working, a project that both engaging experienced artists and helping the next generation of musicians launch their careers. Let's just have a quick listen to some of the stars in action. And I am pleased to say that joining us on the programme this morning, Robert Emery, founder of Get Musicians Working, joins us now, as indeed does Belinda Evans, a professional soprano and one of the beneficiaries of the scheme. Guys, lovely to have you on the programme this morning. Robert, let's come straight to you. You found yourself with a bit of a gap in the diary. So tell us exactly how that gap in the diary led to Get Musicians Working.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking. Back in March of last year, I was about to go on a world tour. It was going to be an incredible year for me. And overnight, pretty much, all of my work for 2020 and half of my work for 2021 was cancelled. And, you know, I'm not in the same, in a similar position as many other musicians around the UK. And so I thought, well, what can I do to help? What can I do to help my fellow colleagues? And the obvious thing was Get Musicians Working. We set up to try and help musicians who are seriously struggling. We've not been able to earn any money, actually, since March of last year. So many musicians are on the breadline. I personally know many musicians who have lost their homes. They've used up all their savings. They've had to move back with their mum and dad. 34% of all professional musicians are considering abandoning their career. And it's a shocking statistic. So what we've done is we've tried to raise money through getmusiciansworking.org to try and help those musicians, give them a grant. And the quid pro quo, if you like, the nice returning factor is if we help them, then they give us some of their time and some of their experience by sharing content for TED's List, which is a website I've set up to help young musicians get some valuable advice.
And I'm sure it'll be warmly welcomed by them. We're all sitting on our hands these days. Let's bring in Belinda. Now, Belinda, you're a professional soprano. Just before we get into how the scheme might have helped you, I mean, how grim have things been for a professional performer like yourself?
Good morning. Yeah, pretty grim. It's a really unusual time for us, of course. And I would like to say that lots and lots of musicians kind of good, have lots of transferable skills, are very used to being out of work sometimes. So we're actually very industrious and we're happy to do other jobs. And I've done all sorts of other jobs alongside my music. But it's really just the lack of any opportunities to perform, I suppose, that's different to usual, because you can always usually find some friends to get together with or do some things as groups of people. And I think it's really the groups, the choirs, the kind of coming together as musicians, orchestras, that's what's lacking. And we're all bereft is probably the best way to describe it. I feel it's a kind of grief in a way, really bereft for our industry.
Yeah, I mean, nothing, of course, Belinda, will fill the hole in your life that's been left by the absence of performing on stage. I'm told, I mean, I think you have to go all the way back to March of last year for the last time that you performed. But is it, at the very least, is reaching out to the next generation of musicians, the next generation of people who want to be in the stage that you previously occupied, has at least that softened the blow just a little bit?
Of course, and I'm a teacher as well as a singer, so I've been really fortunate to still be able to teach the young people who I work with. And as Robert was saying, this is such an important thing that we don't lose these peoples and we don't lose these people, and we don't lose these skills. All of the things that go alongside the music industry and the theatre industry, you know, you've got prop makers, you've got wig makers, you've got makeup artists, you've got all of these wonderful, talented people. They don't come around again. Once you lose them, you don't suddenly replace them. It's years and years and years of training. So I think that's the important thing, is to sow those seeds that people don't become put off this from going into the industry as well, and that we keep chipping away and until we're ready to perform again. We mustn't give up. If we lose these people, they're gone.
Robert, kind of finally to you, I mean, I suppose it should be said, I mean, the professional musicians of my acquaintance working in session, working in orchestras, you know, they are all very quick to tell us that it is not necessarily the best rewarded career at the best of times, you know, given the investment that they will have put in over the years. So assistance from yourself will be gratefully received. I wonder, though, whether you might want to see some more coming from central government.
Yeah, of course, that would be enormously helpful. I mean, the music industry is a £5.8 billion industry in a year. Now, to put that into perspective, the fishing industry, from my knowledge, is about a £468 million industry. So, you know, the economies of scale are massive when it comes to music alone. And then if you then cover the arts as a whole, it's a £101 billion industry. It was the fastest growing industry of 2019. So it's incredibly important. I don't personally feel the government are doing quite enough to help. Believe it or not, 33% of professional musicians haven't been able to claim any of the government support available. And it's those musicians that we're desperately trying to help with, getmusiciansworking.org. And do you know what? Music is a medicine. It's a medicine for people. We're in lockdown. There's not a lot people can do. Imagine life without music. It would be awful. It would be terrible. It would be boring. And music is like an emotional medicine. So, you know, we just thank everybody for supporting the arts, supporting the musicians, and understanding that we haven't been able to work for 10 months. And if they can help in any way, shape or form with getmusiciansworking.org, we really appreciate it. And we look forward to entertaining the nation again as soon as we're allowed.
Yeah, the nation is looking forward to it too. Believe you me, Robert. Robert Emery, Don Hardwick, hope you are both back performing very, very soon. Until then, do take care. Thanks for joining us.